some corners of Christmas we do not visit unless we have to. We stay away from these places. We avoid them in conversation, and we try to avoid thinking about them. We turn the Christmas music a little louder to distract ourselves, and perhaps stare into the Christmas lights a little longer, suck a little harder on that candy cane, or munch on another sugar cookie or 3. Whatever it takes, we do not go there. Santa doesn't want to go there either. Just ask him. He may feign surprise or ignorance. He'll claim he doesn't know what you're talking about. Think about it, though. How many times in your conversations with him has he ever mentioned even having a brother? Much less a younger brother whose personal mission is to ruin Christmas and run up podiatric bills by biting the toes of all the naughty boys and girls on Christmas Day. Yes, the next time you have Santa's ear, if you're feeling brave enough, see how he reacts when you whisper to him the name of his evil younger brother, Santa Quinn.
Santa!
Santa! Santa's Claus and Quinn were very close throughout their childhood days. Claus watched out for Quinn. He played with him, and the two loved to raise animals together.
It's a picture.
You're getting warmed up.
Oh, wow! What? What, fam? What in the world? Wow.
Santa Claus played with Santa Quinn, and the two loved to raise animals together. Claus proved an excellent herdsman raising reindeer. Quinn raised rats. Santa Quinn loved his older brother, not least because Claus always gave the best gifts on Christmas morning. But as the two got older, becoming teenagers and later adults, a rift grew between them. Santa Claus had a knack for making toys and making people happy, especially around Christmas. Quinn, meanwhile, developed an unhealthy fascination with toes. Oh, it seemed innocent enough at first, but then he started biting his own corns. When he was no longer flexible enough to reach his own, he started biting others. When his victims did not consent, and really, who would? He'd bite them in their sleep. Once at 19, Santa Claus awoke to find Quinn salivating over an exposed corn on Claus's toe. Growing more wary, Claus started wearing socks to death. Still, Claus would wake and find the socks mysteriously taken off during the night. Sometimes Santa Claus would have fitful dreams about waking or running barefoot over pins and needles. When he'd awake, he'd find his toes exposed with throbbing tiny bite marks. Was Quinn trying to eat his toes?
No!
Quinn always denied any wrongdoing. Anytime anyone complained of these late-night foot violations, Quinn blamed his rats. He claimed they must have escaped to their cages in the night and somehow must have returned to their cages and relocked themselves in. Claus knew better, though, and as he began to sense that his brother only really loved him for his toes, he grew ever more distrustful of Quinn. As Santa's Claus and Quinn grew older, we all know that Claus prospered, married Mrs. Claus, and became wildly successful, world-famous, and well-beloved as the jolly old elf of the North Pole that brings gifts each Christmas Eve to all the good children of the world. Quinn was not as successful. Driven by his dark infatuation with toes, he excelled in his studies throughout high school and college and planned to become a podiatrist. His good grades, though, could not mask his darker tendencies. As he faced med school interviews, he repeatedly scared off the interviewing doctors by asking to see the doctor's toes. With rejection after rejection on the med school front, especially just as his brother grew in prominence and popularity, Quinn grew terribly jealous. Things came to a head one Thanksgiving as Quinn visited Santa and Mrs. Claus at the North Pole. By this time, Santa Claus probably would not have allowed Quinn in the home, but Mrs. Claus had insisted. After all, he was family. Following a wonderful feast prepared by Mrs. Claus, she fell asleep in the living room reclining chair watching football. Santa Claus attended to the dishes, and Quinn reluctantly volunteered to help Claus with the dishes, but soon after claimed he needed to step out for a few minutes for some fresh air. Suspiciously curious, when Claus walked in to check up on Mrs. Claus, he caught Quinn in the act of biting the toes of the sleeping Mrs. Claus.
What?
Oh.
Santa Claus confronted Quinn. and ordered him out of the house. Quinn, in a rage, vowed to destroy Claus and to destroy Christmas. As he stormed out of the house, he grabbed a stack of papers that included Santa's naughty list. He'd been hoping for the nice list, but Santa keeps that list locked away. Santa Claus sent a few elves to try to retrieve the list, but they returned empty-handed. Santa's Claus and Quinn have not spoken since. Quinn, a wretched outcast, moved to Utah and was banished to a town several miles south of Provo. There, the local residents were so afraid of him that they renamed the town after him to warn any unsuspecting neighbors. No one sees much of Santa Quinn throughout most of the year anymore, but his house can still be spotted from the I-15. There are whispers and reports, though, that Santa Quinn has developed a taste for the toes of young, naughty children. Some say he still has contacts at the North Pole, perhaps those same deviant elves who never retrieved the naughty list he stole. It is said that these same elves slip him a copy of the naughty list every year. Then, on Christmas Eve, Santa Quinn skulks around following Santa Claus and his reindeer in a rat-drawn sleigh of his own. Quinn then visits the homes of all the bad little boys and girls left on the naughty list. While Santa Claus leaves the good children toys and gifts, Santa Quinn bites the toes of those left on the naughty list. And so, my little friends, should it happen that one of these years you or someone you know misbehaves enough to find your way onto Santa's naughty list, beware. Wear your socks to bed. Wear your shoes to bed. Better yet, on Christmas Eve, don't sleep at all. Because if you don't, you may be getting more than coal on Christmas Eve.
Wow.